right, so here we are with our gorgeous 12 pieces. Okay, now yours truly has 12, trust me. I know I said 12, but I'm only showing you 6. What I want you to do is pop all your tail ends. Oh, actually, the way you find out whether you are doing the right way, when you hold your work, your crochet should curve a bit up, all right? That means you are looking at the right side, or when you're looking at it like so, those little V's that you see in there, which are very hard to see with the orange, sorry about that. You've got the little V looking stitches there. When you're holding it like this, they're facing you. When you're holding it the wrong side, the V's are going back. You can't even see them. They're way at the back there. So we want the V's to be facing us. So we want the right side to be facing us. Tail ends that way, like so. Tail ends this way, like so. All right. Now, you will need your gold yarn for this part here. Let's push 4 out the way so you don't get confused. All right. All right. Oh, too close. Sorry. Now, get the corner of your first square, popping it in there, and the corner of your opposite square. Now what you're doing is you're picking them up from the ground that way. So pop it in the corner, the space, not a stitch, just in the corner of your opposite square, like so. At this stage, all you're doing is popping your hook through. No threads yet, yes? And your tails should be dangling. All right, now you grab your gold, pop it over your hook, like so, yes? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Just the first part, you're just pulling your thread through. And that's all you're doing at this stage, yes? Grabbing your tail and passing it forward, only because yours truly likes to crochet over that a little bit. Not a lot for this part, okay? Chain 1, like that. And guess what? You are going to single crochet in the same space that you just pulled that loop through. All right, so pop your hook in the space, pull up a loop, and there's your single crochet, 2 loops on your hook. Okay, yarn over your hook, pull the loop through there. All right, drag that little tail end at the back. All you wanted to do is really lock it into place. All right, see how I'm pulling that single crochet down there a bit? Because we are going to put a single crochet, you can split your squares if you like here, in that first stitch. You've got your 3 stitches, you've got 1, 2 and 3. It's a really tight stitch in the corner. Popping it in there, right? And then you're going to the opposite side of that square, like that. So you popped your hook in there, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through 2 loops. That's your single crochet, 2. You're going to do the same in the next stitch, and again the next. Yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, 3. And your next 4, and so on across the row. Right there, okay? Then you want to do a single crochet in your corner, 1 right in the space. It's like we did over there, that's what we're doing here, and I think I've done mine really tight. Probably shouldn't have. Don't have to pull up a loop, I just wanted to show you what you've done. All right, so you keep your hook where it is. So when we are ready, we just tug it all into place, and there you go. All right, and that's what you'll have. Now, grabbing your other 2 squares. Remember the tail end? Pop that down the bottom, tail end, pop it up the top. Yes, exactly the same as we had these 2. All right, pop your hook back in, or I do, you don't have to because yours will still be in, we hope. All right, so you grab this other one, closing them up together just like these 2. No chaining. Put your thread at the back because you're working in front of your thread. Pop your hook in the first space of that one. Pop your hook in the next space, giving your thread a tug. Well, actually, you can probably just pull the loop through first. Now give everything a big tug because you don't want to leave that too loose. Let me show you again. That was far away. I'll show you again, nice and close. All right, your tail end goes to the back. grabbing your two pieces. There's your corner and there's your corner. Grab that tail end and pull it through. I'm sorry, it's the working end, not the tail end. And now you're just completing your single crochet as if you were going across the row. So that's one. Go in that very first stitch there. 2. 3. 1. Oh, it's a bit tight, that last one, but it's there. And now we're going to pop it in the corner. You can keep yours together, but mine will show, just to show you what it looks like. If there's a big gap here, like a big space, you have to take that undone and do it again, because it's got to be nice and cozy so it looks like that there. Okay, that's not flat, sorry guys, because that's the curved one. So it's just got to go there, and your next rows are going to go on top. Okay, but we're still doing these two. We need our next 2 squares. Okay, making sure our tail ends are on the bottom. And again, you don't have to do that. I just do it because it's easier to crochet over them later. Okay, so rather than having them, the tail ends up here and getting them all knots and everything. And if you've already weaved in your ends, well done. So pop your hook in your first corner, go to the corresponding corner, making sure you're getting your corners. All right, pull your loop through, giving it a big tug because you don't want a big space between these squares, yeah? So a nice big tug, and then you do your single crochet or complete your single crochet. Now remember that very first stitch, we want to make sure we get that because that will make you way out of whack if you don't get it. And there you go. All right, and off we trot till the end of the row again. All right, easy, easy. All right, that's our last stitch. Now we're going to go into the corner with a single crochet through the corner. Now we've actually finished this round, so we're going to pull up a loop. Doesn't matter how big you leave your tail, don't leave them too small or you can't weave them in later. Just give it a tug and your piece has been crocheted together like that. All right, that's what you've done so far. Now you're going to turn your work to the side because we're going to work with these here. These will be a lot easier, like I said. The only difference is your little jump over here will be a tiny little bit different, but not difficult, all right? No more difficult than what we've just done, okay? So I usually start with the top bit just for fun. Now you can actually start wherever you like. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing the sides across. And again, all you're doing is finding your corner space, same way you did here. Find your opposite corner. All right, let me get it close up. You can see there's your 2 corners in there. It will be different this round because you'll be jumping over that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Again, not difficult, just different. Okay. Pass your tail end over if you want to lock it into place first. You can. Chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet in the same space. Okay, and you can pass your tail end back if you like. Now remember your first stitch, a little bit tricky there, but it's there, and the same with the other side. A little bit more fiddly this first part, but once you get it, that second piece will be easier to make. Okay, it's just a matter of getting it right. So being careful, making sure you're getting in both sides. So it might be easier to make a mistake with this one because you're kind of stuck together here, but I'm used to it, so I just sort of pop my hook straight through all thicknesses. But don't do that because right now I've made a mistake. See that? You've got to get it into the actual spaces of the opposite side. Okay? Being wary. Easy. No, it's not easy. different. How's that? We're not going to say easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. And if you want to know if you're doing it right, just split it. And you can see your 2 V's are on there and your 2 V's are on the opposite side. Okay. Now we're nearly at that corner. We've got 3 to go. Two, and we've got that last one. There is one right there. See that one there? That is a stitch. A little bit fiddly. Now we're going to get into the opposite side here, which is right there. That's a stitch you must get in there. Okay, there, into the stitch. Now a lot of people don't do this, but I do. I do pop it in the space first and do a normal single crochet in the space like so. Then we chain 1, jump over all thicknesses into the space of the opposite side, into the space of that side, and doing a normal single crochet. Now because we've done this, it might be easier to miss that first stitch, so don't miss it. Yeah, single crochet in that first stitch and in the opposition stitch. Alright, there you go. So it's a little bit fiddly, this one. Your next one will be a lot easier because you'll know what you're doing. Okay. We're in the center now. I've done the last stitch. And you do your last stitch there, chaining 1, pull up your loop. Oh, where's the scissors? Give it a cut. And I've actually left a really long thread. You don't have to leave that long thread. Now, head off on your own, do this last piece, meet me back here and we'll decide what we're going to do next. With the last piece, don't cut your thread, okay? So go ahead and do that piece and I will meet you back in a moment. Alrighty guys, this is what you should have, okay? Now I didn't cast off my thread like I said I wouldn't, and if you have cast off your thread, don't panic. We can just do it on again, okay? But we are using this thread. Notice how I'm separating all those ends? Only because we are going to crochet over these ends. So it saves you from having to weave them on the outside and stress about them. This way we're going to crochet over them, weave them in underneath the actual cozy and no one sees them. All right, so this is where we got to. We did the last row right there and you did your single crochet in your corner. Then you, like I said before, when you did your single crochet in the corner, you just pull a loop through and pull it up and cut it. But we're not going to cut this one. What we're going to do is turn our work to the side like that, and we're going to start doing this. Oh wait, before we start off to do measurements, we're going to start doing that. You might think, oh, but it looks wrong, but it doesn't. I know it does, but what we're going to do is do this. This is why it looks wrong, because, oh, it's too, I'm going to have to do it this way. I can't fit it all in. Because we want it to go around the pot. If we left it straight, it will be, you know, kind of stiff and sticking out and everything. But by curving it a little bit, which we're going to do now with this top 2 rows, it will go kind of around your pot. All over. Okay, now if you have your rectangle now and you pop it around your pot and it goes over like that and over like that on the other side, your work is far too big. You have to take it undone. I'm sorry guys, undo those granny squares. Okay, your measurements for your rectangle, you don't even have to worry about the measuring tape. I'll get it out in a minute, but you don't need to. All you have to think about is this part almost touches your handle, and when you turn it to this side, it almost touches your spout. But with your measurement, if you really want to be pedantic, okay, grab your measuring tape, measure from just before the spout, right there, like just before it, and measure just before the handle. Right, which is 17 centimeters, or, you know, roughly 6.5 inches. Okay, so that's pretty much what you have. You've got a little bit more, but that's going to tighten up. It's like an astringent. Once we put the crochet, you know, single crochets on, everything's going to tighten up a little. okay? So when you stretch that all the way around, you will see it'll just match. There's no right or, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. There's no right or wrong way. But if it's overlapping far too much where it's stuck over there and it's pulling through, that's no good, okay? You want it to be, when we're finished with this part, so this is exactly, they're both made exactly the same. When we're finished with this part, it's literally in the middle of your handle and literally almost hanging over your spout there like that. So it's kind of in the middle, centered on each side. Now, here we are. We're doing our next part of the tutorial, which is the border row of our rectangle. All right. Now you've got a lot of ends. Don't stress about them. You're going to put, you've already put a single crochet in that corner. You're going to put another one right there in the corner. One. Yes? Then, remember that first stitch? We're going to pop a single crochet in that first stitch. Try not to miss it. Single crochet in the next, and in the next, and in your next. All right, when we get to here, I wanted to show you. So, you know, when you get to your little end there, it's the end sticking up. That stitch belongs to there. That stitch belongs to there. Now your end is here. If you were to pop your hook through there, which I will do, I'm sorry, let's bring that undone again. Sorry, take two undone for a minute. Only if you want to do this, you can crochet over that tail end, which I'm going to do. All right, so all you're doing is you're grabbing your tail end at your fingers at the back, somewhere at the back. Put your hook through that stitch right there, your second last stitch before the end, before that middle piece. Single crochet over it. It's over. You don't have to hold it anymore. Single crochet over it in the next stitch. All right, now that is where your stitch is actually. That's where your tail end is, right? If you were to pop your hook in there, which we're going to, and single crochet over it, be careful not to do it again there, okay? If you wanted to, you could skip over all that and pop it there, but I like to do it there anyway. So skip those chains and then pop it in that stitch right there. And there you go. And that's you have weaved in that end. Accidentally weaved it in, but look how neat it looks. All right, so now we're going to, here we are at the end. Let me show you the end. All right, that's your last stitch there. And there's your corner. That's far too close. I do apologize. You can see all my little bips and bumps and everything else there. All right, so there's your space. You are going to pop 3 single crochets in that space. 1, 2, and 3 in the space. Yes? Then, remember that first stitch tucked in there? You have to put a single crochet in that stitch and single crochet all the way across until you get to the middle bit where I need to show you what you can do with that middle bit. There and there, almost there in the middle bit. Oops, one more stitch there. All right, so here we are in the middle bit, okay? What I find, I grab that tail end and I pass it over, yes? And we put a single crochet in the first space. Then we do half a single crochet in that same space. So we pull a loop through, holding it all there. We're not crocheting over the tail end anymore, it's already tucked in. We go into that next space with a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn and pull it through all 3 loops on your hook, doing that stitch fairly tight. Don't leave that loose, yeah? Now you do another single crochet in there. Then you start with your stitch again. All right, so do all of that all the way until you get to, whoops, your first corner. Okay, easy, easy. This part's easy. It's just jumping over those middle bits. All right, we're at the corner. We're going to put our 3 single crochets in there. If I'm going too fast for you guys, just pause the video. All right, then you're going to pop, don't forget that stitch, first stitch right there, single crochet there, and across, and we're going to be coming up to that loose thread again. So roughly around the last 2 stitches you can grab your thread. You don't have to, I just like to do this. Single crochet over that thread right there, drop it, and single crochet across, and there's your stitch again, that weird stitch. Pop it in there, skip over your chains, just pop it in your next stitch and in your next, and here's your corner again. All right, grabbing your thread again, pulling it right over. If you want to, you can do this with a thread. You can just weave those in later if you like, but I'm going to put 1 single crochet over it. Then we're dropping it. Now this part here, remember we have to do tight. We do half a single crochet, pull up a loop, holding it there. Jump into your next corner, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, nice and tight. Pull a loop through all 3 loops on your hook. That's the part where it needs to be nice and tug. Not tight where you know, where you can't, it's all scrunched up. You just want it tug, okay? And another single crochet in there. And remember that very first stitch, we have to get in there. A bit tight there, isn't it? And then all the way across. All right? Now, so you don't have to watch me, I would like for you to continue that round all the way until you get to, just get to this little stitch here right before the corner. Wait there for me and I'll show you what you need to do next. All right, so I've just gone through that very last knot there, jumping into the very second last stitch, and then your last stitch, and there's your corner 1. So now remember this little stitch here, we're going to do, see how we've done 1 single crochet in the corner? We're going to do another single crochet. We're going to pull up a loop and we're going to pass it through, pop our hook in that very first single crochet. It doesn't matter which one of the crochets. Usually it's the middle one in the corner. You can see that middle one. You've got 1 there and 1 there, and there's 1 right in the corner. So you just grab your loop. It's a little bit tricky, this part, but it does make it look nice. And pull the loop through like so. Okay, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and there you go. You've actually closed up your area there. So now you're going to single crochet in that next stitch and your next stitch, pull up a loop. So you've got 3 single crochets you've started already. The reason I'm stopping you here is because I wanted to show you what it looks like on the pot, so you know where you're headed with it. Okay, now if you look carefully at the pot, it kind of looks, see where the lid is, that's where you want it to be. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, look for the lens, Mary. See where that lid is? That's where I want your single crochet to be, right? This row, the one we've just done. And the bottom should curve, and that should be, looks like it's going to be right where that line is. Whether it's on this one or whether it's on, oh, sorry about that, dropping everything here, on the smaller one, okay? So the smaller one, right, will kind of go, it'll go over the lid, but that's okay. All right, don't stress. With the smaller one, everything's going to be a lot bigger. And I'm going to show you how to close it up a bit so it doesn't look so loose. And yet, when you pop it over the teapot, even if it was made for the bigger one, it still looks okay on your smaller one. But I will show you how to close it up more, okay? All right. But for the rest of us, we're going to start our closing up shop, okay? So where we are at the moment, I did an extra stitch. I probably shouldn't have. I'll take that undone. Just that 1 stitch. What we needed to have, because we're going to start closing up shop now. So take that 1, oh, I've made a really big loop there, haven't I? Take 1 single crochet undone. So really what you should have, let me put the hook in, I'll show you, your corner single crochet that we were supposed to join, and that 1 there. Now, every second single crochet, we're going to join 2 single crochets together, and that will give your work an astringent look like that. it'll start to curl your work up, which is what you want to get around your pot. So how we do that? This is our first single crochet. Now we get our hook, pop it in there, pull up a loop, hold it there, exactly what we did in the corners. We're going to go into our next stitch, pull up a loop. There's 3 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. The next stitch is a normal single crochet. Your next one is the 2 together. Whoops, it's a bit tight, that stitch. There and there, okay? And you've done that with the corners, so you know what you're doing. And your next one is a normal single crochet. Your next one is 2 together, okay? Now here we are at the corner. We've got that single crochet before we hop into the corner. You're not going to do anything. All you're going to do is single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and single crochet 3. All right, so you single crocheted 1 before the corner. You've done altogether 3, so you've got to do a 4th one right there. Turn your work and you do your 2 together. All right, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing corners, just not normal corners. You're not putting anything in there. You're just doing 3 single crochets or 4 single crochets in the corner. There's no proper count to this, so just go for it, okay? 2 together here and 1. 2 together and 1. Now here's a tricky one because there's 2 stitches there, 1 and 2. You're going to do those 2 together and 1. Whoops. 2 together and 1. 2 together and 1. 2 together, and we're close to the corner there. Did I get it right? Yeah, I did. All right, so now you just do your 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's no wrong right way of doing this. It doesn't matter. We just want your work to curve. All right, so now we are doing our 2 together. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put our stitch marker in our very first stitch. You won't miss it anyway. It is right there. All right, because that's our 2 together, and that's our first stitch right there. All right. Okay, so we did 2 together there. Yep, 2 together, and now we're up to our single crochet. 2 together. Whoops. And single crochet. All right, I'm not going to let you watch me do this. Just continue doing that 2 together, single crochet, 4 around the corner, 2 together, single crochet, 4, 2 together, single crochet. Get to about your last 2 together and meet me up there. It might be there, it might be over here. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what to do next, okay? All right, I'm just finishing off my last 2 together. I should have 1, 2 before the corner there. If you only have 1, don't stress. If you have none, just do the last bit that we're going to do. So there's no right or wrong way of doing this. So I'm going to put a single crochet in there, single crochet in your next, and then that stitch marker right there, pull out that loop. We are going to slip stitch right across into that stitch that we made right there with our stitch marker in it. Pull up a loop. Now with this little thread here, you know what you're going to do? You're going to cut it. You're going to pull the loop through. Ta-da!